everyone, it's Vicki here today designing for Pinkfresh Studio, and I am using the brand new Some Days collection. So this is super gorgeous and lots of spring colours in there, and I'm just showing you through the kit so that you can see what's included. There are cardstock stickers, chipboard stickers, puffy stickers, journaling pieces, cardboard chipboard flair, and 3 alphas. I mean, there's just so much in this kit, and you'll see there that I laid out all the papers so that you can see them all together. And isn't that just a gorgeous rainbow of colours? Yep, wiggling my fingers, I'm excited. So these are the 2 photos I'm going to use. They're just of my niece reading a big book. I saw one of the stickers, cardstock stickers, that says, "I like big books," and that's what inspired this layout. Now this piece of paper here is my favourite, and I absolutely love it, even though it's very busy and very unlike me to put on my layouts. But I just love the paper, it's just really gorgeous, and I had to use it. So I ripped a piece for the top and also a piece of that blue and white, sort of like notebook paper, and I wanted to tuck some of that underneath. And I do the exact same thing at the bottom. I just sort of rip a couple of pieces and I'm going to layer them up. And this is my way of using the paper without filling the whole page with it. But I really like how it looks. Okay, so I'm going to cut a bit off of the top because I think it came a bit too far down the page. So I just cut a small piece off of there, and that works better for me. So I really like that, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it down. I just stick the bottom so that there's room to tuck the piece in underneath, and then also I can ruffle up the edges afterwards. Okay, so those are going to tuck in there. There we go. Just gives me a chance to be able to ruffle them up a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to sort of put my photos there. I've decided to add a piece of the reverse side of this blue paper in here. And just to add, oh sorry, no, that's of the pattern paper, just to add a piece of extra colour down there. It's very unusual for me to use red on a layout, but I'm embracing it today, and I love it. So I'm going to put a bit of clear gesso on here. This is Art Basics clear gesso. I'm going to put some there where my photos are going to go, and then a little bit here. And I decided to cover most of this area in the end because I'm not 100% sure where the mixed media will end up, but it does end up where I thought originally. So I let that dry with the help of my heat tool a little bit, and I pulled out my watercolours. This is sky blue, and I'm just dripping a bit onto the page, and then I'm moving it around with some water and with my brush just to create a messy mat for where my photos are going to go. I add in a bit here of aquamarine as well, just so that it's a bit more of a teal colour to match in with that really crazy colourful paper that I've used. So I'm just sort of moving it around, as you can see, with some water. There's no exactness about this, I'm just sort of creating a messy mess on my background, much of which will be covered over, but I do want to be able to see it. So there we go. A bit went onto my paper at the top. That's okay, I don't mind that. That's going to be covered by the photo. So I tried with my heat gun to dry it off a little bit, but it wasn't really working to the way I like it. So I decided to leave that for a bit and come and do this bottom bit here. Again, I use a bit of the sky blue and the aquamarine together just to create a slightly more subtle turquoise colour. And I also get a little bit of the watercolour here with some water and do some splatters. So a bit of both colours so that I've got the matching colours. So I'm doing some splatters on here. And yeah, so using a paper towel just to mop up some of the really wet bits. And like that, and then I'm just going to cut through because then I came back to it a bit later and it was dry. So here we go. So this is how I'm going to present my photos onto the layout, and yeah, as you can see, it's my niece reading a nice big book, and I thought they were really cute photos to go with this collection, because those geometric shapes are great, I think great to go with child pictures of your children, or your nieces in my case. I just think they're sort of almost look like I don't know, like, you know, shapes, learning, educational, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I used some of these journaling tags. I've just tucked a couple of under the photos and just a regular tag there as well. And I've opened the die cuts, and I'm going to do a little cluster down here where I did that second piece of mixed media, just to bring the diagonal feature of the layout right across the page. So I'm just looking for some bits and pieces now from the die cuts that sort of work in here. And I'm going to cut some florals from this paper. I'll cut through that in a second, so you don't need to watch me cutting them out, but I cut out 3 from this paper, I think. Not all whole ones, a couple of them are from the edge, but that's okay because I'm going to tuck them under anyway. So there we go, I cut out 3 of those. And I'm going to choose some of these chipboard flair. There's one with yellow one with a heart. There's that one there, that blue one, it says one for the books, sort of a bluey green colour, and then the other one is, I don't actually use that third one, but it's just there for now. I come back to that. Don't use that one. It's just slightly the wrong blue for what I wanted on that layout. So here's my chipboard sticker that says I like big books, which inspired my layout in the first place. And I'm just going through everything. There's so much when you get a new collection. I always find that's the hardest time to do a new layout, when you've got the whole kit to choose from. I just find that I get super excited, and then I'm like, there's so much I don't know what to use. But I mean, what a horrible problem to have, right? So I'm just picking out some of the floral die cuts here. I love floral die cuts. They are my favourite thing, I have to be honest. I always get excited when there's a pack of floral die cuts. So I use a couple of those. I think it's very unusual for me to do a layout without florals. We'll have to see how that, I'll have to look back and think about that, because they do usually have florals on. So, okay, so this is starting to look like the final layout will. There's another chipboard piece there. It's actually a ticket, but I tuck it under so you don't see the writing on it. It's just the shape and the colour that you get a pop of. So I'm starting to stick some things down here at the bottom, and that little sticker, little tag says hello, my name is. So later on I'll put my niece's name on there. Okay, so I'm going to layer up these photos now. First one onto this red paper, because I love that pop of red that I get from that, and with the journaling tag underneath. I'll distress the edges just so that gives that little bit of extra texture to it. I'm just going to arrange that and stick it down. So you don't see much of that journal tag, but the suggestion of colour around the edge just adds that bit of interest to it, and also takes focus to the photo so it doesn't get lost on that mixed media background. So there's a bit of red behind that one as well. Okay, what am I doing next? Okay, so this is just sticky back foam, which I'm going to use to pop my 2 photos up with. And I just put foam on one side of each because they overlap. And I want to tuck a few things under as well, so I don't want to put too much on there. Okay, so just rearranging everything back onto the page so I can get ready to stick things down. This is where I decided not to use that blue one because it's just not the right colour for the mixed media that I've used, so I just felt it didn't really work there. So Yep, starting to stick these bits and pieces down now. And it's all coming together. This layout is so bright and bold and a little bit different from my normal style, to be honest. So I'd love to know what you think about it. Please do leave some comments. I love to read them and I'll reply to them if you ask any questions, of course. So this is how it's looking. So let's get this stuck down. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape just to stick down the photos in the place that I want them. There we go, and then start to stick down the other bits and pieces that I have here around. Okay, that die cut floral I actually didn't use on there in the end, so I've still got that for another layout, which is exciting. I do like them. That little chipboard sticker there says, "There's no place like home," and I thought that was quite a cute sentiment for this layout too. Okay, so I've just got a bit of thread from my stash, which I'm going to put through the tag just to finish that off, and that's in that sort of tealy colour like the background, and I like the way that looks. Okay, so I'm just thinking about finishing touches. This little piece that I cut off the tag, I decided to slot that down at the side of the photo for a bit of extra colour there. And another, I think that's a puffy sticker. No, it's a chipboard sticker. Just tucked in there. And a star. Now I put some enamel dots on, but I don't film myself putting on the title because I didn't really know where I was going to put it and what it was going to be. So you'll see in the final photo in just a second what I decide. There we go. I decided on bookworm down on the left there, and then I added my niece's name just on that tag that says "Hello, my name is." I hope you've enjoyed this layout. There are some close-ups coming up for you to take a look at. Please do check out the Some Days collection. I believe it will be in stores around mid-February, or it's shipping mid-February. Please do answer any questions that you have, ask any questions that you have. But in the meantime, this has been Vicky for Pinkfresh. Bye-bye.